All right, so we're on to day 88 of going through my journal. So the quote for today is, "Friends show their love in times of trouble, not in happiness." And then it says, "What do you think is the true test of friendship?" This will be an interesting one. "And who do you consider your best friend?" So if you're following along, just pause the video and think of how you'd answer this question. And I'll read you what I wrote. Let's see. I said, "I'm not really sure what makes a good friend. To be honest, I'm not sure that I've ever really had any friends, like real friends, like how people talk about like what real friends are. When I was younger, there were people in school I would call friends. I even use the term loosely about some people today, but I don't think I've ever had that deep connection that some people seem to have. I also wonder how many other people really have friends. I feel like most relationships between people are more or less transactional. Like, we're hanging out today because I'm lonely or I don't want to do something alone, not necessarily because I enjoy your company." That sounds harsh, and it hasn't been the case for me most of the time, but as I get older, it seems to feel more like that. I said, "Maybe it's because I'm so content being alone, I don't want to risk bringing any extra drama into my life." With that being said, even though my roommate can be selfish sometimes, he's stuck with me through a lot. It would be different if I felt like he was using me for money or something tangible like that, but it seems like he does just want to be around me, even if it's just as friends. He says I'm his best friend, and he would have to be mine, I think. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say, I think I've mentioned this before, but like I have kind of, I guess what I'll just call it is kind of like situational friends. So I don't like really, I have like one close friend at a time, if any. So I either have no close people or I have just like one at a time. And there's not really been much in between on that. Like, even when I would like have friend groups, there would always be like the one person that I was pretty close to, and it would be like me and them all the time until just like life circumstances happen and we're not like hanging out together anymore. Like, we don't have class together, we're not working together, you know, whatever. Then we just kind of like go distant, because I am like a bad friend in the sense that like, it's like people are just kind of out of sight, out of mind, I guess, to me. And I don't like that about myself. Like, I wish I could, like I said, a part of me kind of wishes that I could be like a better friend, but then a part of me, like, there is some stress and extra anxiety that comes with friendships. And to me, like, having a friendship has got to be worth taking on that extra stress and anxiety of like feeling like you have to be there for someone and things like that. And so I wish I wasn't like that. I wish I was one of those people that was just really caring and just like, it's weird because it's like I care about people as a whole, but at an individual level, it's like that doesn't get expanded. It's like I want to help people broadly, but when it's like a one-on-one, like I get like anxiety and stress, like having friends one-on-one, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's how I feel about friendship. And I don't think that I'll ever have just like, I don't know that I'll ever have like a best friend that stays my best friend through like my whole life. I feel like it's just switches based on whatever is going on. But my roommate has been my friend for a really long time now, so far it seems like he's the one that's like sticking with me through a lot. So, you know, I guess we'll see. I could see us still being friends, like, after I graduate and everything. So we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, I think I have a harder time making friends than other people. But I've also seen people with a lot of friends, like I said, that like they feel like they have like friendships, but the friends don't really consider them a friend. Or they just use them. I don't feel like I've been used sometimes, but it's not like I'm afraid to have friends because people are going to use me, because it's not like every time by any means, but you know, there is some of that. I see some people that just, people don't really want to be their friends. They just use them. And I have some like family members, like my dad, who's that way, but I don't think most people are like that. But yeah, it's just, I like to do things alone for the most part. And then it is nice every once in a while when I'm in the mood to do something with someone, to have someone I can call to do things with, but only like when I'm feeling like social or feeling like that. And that's the thing with my roommate. Like, he has a room here, he has a place that he can go to and do his work. Like, we're separate most of the time, except when it's convenient. Like, he gives me enough of my space, and he understands, like, whenever I say I don't feel like doing something. Like, he goes out to eat every day. Some days I eat with him, some days I don't. Some days he'll bring his food in here and eat it while I work. Some days he'll take it out to his place. So it's just kind of like, it's good to have a person there that, like, if I'm in the mood to do stuff, normally he'll be down for it. But yeah, but just maintaining, I would always feel like I would be lacking. Like, I would feel that stress of like when a friend would ask me to go eat or go do this or go do that with them, I would feel that pressure to do it, to be a good friend. And I guess I don't like to say no, and I don't like conflict. So to avoid like having to set boundaries with people and saying no, I guess I just like just kind of keep people at a distance so I don't have to worry about any of that. But yeah, and that's another reason why I've been kind of looking into like autism, because I'm like 90% sure that I have ADHD, and I'm kind of like unsure about whether I might be like mildly on the autism spectrum, just because, you know, a lot of times autism can be confused with shyness, and I'm not convinced. I've watched several, it's like I watch a bunch of videos, and it's like I'll watch one video where someone's like saying the symptoms that they had, and I'm like, well, that sounds a lot like me. And then I'll watch another video where they're like, well, just because, I watch one specifically, like the difference between being introverted and being autistic, and I was like, well, sounds like I'm just more introverted. So I don't know. I don't necessarily care about labeling myself as autistic or not. Like, I do feel like I have issues with being social, but then at the same time, like, it's not often like debilitating to me. It's happened more like when I was young. It wasn't really a big deal. I knew I was shy, but it didn't like, I didn't get a lot of anxiety over it. But as I've gotten older, it seems like the anxiety is like worse and worse. And so I think that's why I've kind of like pushed away from people, because I just get more and more anxiety over, you know, being out and doing things. And it really hit me, I think the first time really bad was when I was studying in Europe. I was over there and I just kind of like shut down and just like completely isolated. And I just felt like just such an outsider, even though there were like some Americans there, and it was people that I had gone to school with in the US, and I traveled around with a bunch of people that were like in my same program. And it was fine for like the few months, you know, the summer leading up to the studies, and even the first couple months being at the university there. And then it was kind of like, I was studying there from like September to like February, I think. And when I got to be like late November was when I really started feeling like really bad anxiety, and just isolated myself, and like just didn't hang out or connect with anybody. And yeah, and then it stuck with me for quite a while after I came back. And then, I don't know, something brought me out of it somewhat, but then I was still like less social and open to making friends than before. Like there wasn't like a specific event that happened, so I can't like link it to anything, but I don't know. I think it was just being over there and studying and being overwhelmed in like a different country, and I don't know. I don't know exactly what it was, but yeah, like social wise, I haven't really been the same totally ever since then, but I'm not sad about it. And I guess I don't feel like I can't make friends. If I had like actively gone out and tried to make friends, which I've seen this happen to some people as adults, like they are the type of people that like to have friends, that don't like to be alone. And then when they get to be adults and like people are getting married and having kids and having their own lives, and like, you know, they still want to have friends, but the friends groups kind of start to disintegrate, and then they're trying to make friends and they don't know how to make friends as adults, and they get real stressed and kind of sad about it. But I've never like actively tried to do that, like tried to make friends. So maybe if I did do that, like if I went out and tried to make friends and I couldn't and I failed at it, then maybe it would bother me a little bit more. Like, oh, like even if I wanted friends, I couldn't have them. But I haven't really tried, so I'm not too stressed about it too much. And I have this idea in my mind that I probably could make friends if I wanted to and I had the time to put in the effort. But as of right now, my goals are not to have friends. It's not to make friends. It's to finish school and work. And I feel like having friends would kind of like impede that somewhat. So, and especially like with me doing this workout thing, I think one reason that it's been somewhat easy for me to make it through this thing is because I'm not like going and doing things with friends or going out to eat and being tempted, you know, with food and everything, or having to schedule around other things with friends. I've just got my schedule, my workout schedule, got my meals prepped. That's what I eat. And so I don't have all of that extra social stuff that kind of like could get in the way of that. But anyway, I guess that's all I have to say right now about that. Yeah, I'm just wondering, because I feel like pretty convinced now that I'm, whatever you want to label it, I'm somehow neurodivergent, and I think people think differently than me. So yeah, I'd be curious to know what other people's views are on friendships, if it's like a more widespread thing that's happening now that people are becoming more isolated, or if it's like just me. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with day 89.